don't matter. You know, like I said, this is my division, and no matter what how much confidence he got, this is my division. I'm about to show the world and stamp it come June 27th.
You're jumping right in with the man that people believe is one of the top fighters in any weight class in all the boxes. The question I have is why? Why were you so insistent on making this fight happen?
To be great, you have to face the great guys, right? He's one of the best at 154 pounds, and I say I'm the best at 154 pounds. Only way to find out is by stepping in the ring.
Like I said before, I think he's a solid fighter, you know, a good fighter. Yeah, he champion for a reason, you know, but I think I do everything better. You know, all around the board, I do everything. I can box, I can bang. Inside, outside, mid-range, whatever you want to do, I can do.
And Jaron Ennis wasted no time responding to the confidence being shown by Xanderas, and rather than being intimidated, Boots appeared completely unfazed by the challenge in front of him, and he expressed full belief in his abilities, and made it clear that he expects to remain on top of the division, and in his eyes Tala alone will not be enough to stop him, and he intends to reinforce his status by delivering a statement victory. When they eventually share the ring,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't take nothing from him. He's a good fighter. You know, I appreciate him. You know, appreciate him for giving me the opportunity. And but I don't really see much. He's a great fighter. Good. He got good fundamentals. Good jab. He's smart at times. You know, but like I said, no, I'm taking over. This is my division. It don't matter what he do. It don't matter what he bring to the table. I'm about to show the world.
Zayas has been displaying publicly, and according to Boots, genuine self-belief is demonstrated through actions, not just words, and he questioned why someone so certain of victory would hesitate over a purse arrangement that rewards the winner more heavily, and to Ennis' reluctance in that situation reveals far more than any confident prediction ever could, and he viewed it as a sign that uncertainty may be lurking beneath the surface.
I'm gonna take them belts. The belts come back home to Philadelphia.
At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. And I want to see it.
I'm taking them belts.
And that's what it is. Hey, you're supposed to think that way.
Ain't no think I know.
You're supposed to think that way.
Ain't no think
Everybody
I know.
have think that way.
Ain't no think I know.
All right. 23 have tried.
Yeah, I'm not them boys you fought.
I'm not them boys you fought either.
If I would have fought them same two guys that you fought, it would have been bashing the mess out of me, bro. It's levels, bro.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you, it's levels.
All right.
And you're gonna see for yourself, and I'm gonna make you feel everything. And I want you to keep that same energy.
I will always.
After an intense stare-down captured plenty of attention and has remained firm in his position that he is still the leading figure in the weight class, he dismissed the significance of reports surrounding Zayas working with bigger sparring partners, insisting that gym stories do not determine what happens under the bright lights and buds pointed, instead to his accomplishments inside the ring, arguing that his body of work continues to separate him from everyone else competing at 154 pounds.
Right, and as far as weight, he was talking about moving up to 54, and that being a big difference. Yeah. And you were talking about sparring bigger guys, man. You putting them out.
Bro, I box bigger guys. I fight bigger guys. Every time I box somebody bigger, I put him out. He's talking about he bigger or whatever. He's not even big. He got on like little hill platform shoes. Like, we're the same height, bro. Like.
Do you think at the championship level, weight really makes a difference, or it comes down to boxing IQ?
No, the championship level coming down to the boxing IQ and who really like. Who really that? And I'm gonna show. Like I said, on Fight Night, I'm gonna show I'm really that.
Did you find it amusing? I think I read it a little bit. I think he was saying that you was too small. Like, did you find
he tried to say I was little. Bro, we the same height, bro. Like, he gonna find out. I'm gonna show him. He ain't really too much to say.
Would love to know, do you consider him besides yourself? Do you think he's the best guy at 154? Just using the eye test at least.
Eye test, I feel like
Minutes and 11 seconds assessment. Boots represents one of the toughest challenges available in the division today, and they stress that his blend of experience, strength, and overall boxing ability makes him an exceptionally difficult opponent, and from their perspective, Zayas may be stepping into elite territory sooner than expected, facing a fighter capable of applying pressure and breaking opponents down from the opening bell to the final round, and they always talk about how dangerous, how skilled.
They always talk about how dangerous, how skilled Boots is.
He's a complete fighter. He's a puncher, he's a boxer, he's a countering, he knows how to work angles perfect, so he's a dangerous fighter. A complete fighter, he's a dangerous fighter.
It is. I mean, he has everything. What's Xander missing to be a complete fighter himself?
I say experience. I say fight more. I think he should have fought more like fighters that are experienced on their way out, who can give in those rounds, who can push him to the limit, who can take him to deep waters.
I think he's going to, in conversation around the matchup, also focused on how Ennis has evolved into one of boxing's most demanding tests, and analysts increasingly view him as a genuine threat rather than an opponent used to build another fighter's reputation, and his skill set and physical tools have earned widespread respect throughout the sport, and even Terence Crawford has previously recognized the dangers associated with facing someone like Ennis, acknowledging that he presents a difficult challenge for any ambitious contender looking to climb the ranks.
We never wanted to fight him. You know, he's dangerous. He did camp with Canelo. He was keeping up with Canelo, which is a bigger fighter. So he has experience. He's been out there. Yeah. It's just he hasn't got that chance yet. And
at 5 minutes 54 seconds, and I think Abner has questioned whether this is the right moment for Xander Zayas to take on a fighter of Ennis caliber, and while acknowledging Zayas' talent and potential, he suggested that a little more seasoning could have been beneficial before accepting such a demanding assignment, and in his opinion, a couple of additional bouts against experienced contenders might have provided valuable preparation for a challenge of this scale, and Mayers emphasized that, and combines technical ability, relentless pressure, and excellent ring awareness qualities that can quickly expose weaknesses even in highly regarded prospects, and because of that he sees this matchup as a major gamble for Zayas at this stage of his development and a little bit too young there.
Bit too young there?
Too soon. Too soon. You think
Too soon, brother. Yeah, I love Sanders, and if he waits and if he's smart and his team is smart, they'll hold on at least 2 more fights, and then release him to the wolves. And I'm just speaking realistic in how I see it, because I wouldn't want him to lose a really hard fight and him just declining. You get me? And it happens. We've seen it with fighters where it's too soon of a fight. I mean, let's not go far. I mean, I hate to use him as an example, but when Vargas fought Trinidad, it was too soon, brother. And you gotta have and you gotta be patient with your fighters, and I think they have to be patient with Xander Zayas. Not that I'm saying that he can't win. Maybe he can, but maybe he's gonna get hit too much or injured himself. You get me? So.
And at 5 minutes 54 seconds, and I think Abner has questioned whether this is the right moment for Xander Zayas to take on a fighter of Ennis caliber, and while acknowledging Zayas' talent and potential, he suggested that a little more seasoning could have been beneficial before accepting such a demanding assignment, and in his opinion, a couple of additional bouts against experienced contenders might have provided valuable preparation for a challenge of this scale, and Mayers emphasized that, and combines technical ability, relentless pressure, and excellent ring awareness qualities that can quickly expose weaknesses even in highly regarded prospects, and because of that he sees this matchup as a major gamble for Zayas at this stage of his development and a little bit too young there.
Boots does look special all the time, but there's cases where he gets hit a lot, and you're like, man, for you to be so good and so special, why are you getting hit from some of these lower class fighters? So Xander might have seen that. So you know what? Yeah, I know Boots is special. I know he's really, really good, etc. But I see things in this game where I can exploit. And I think when you
tell you something, no, you don't get to say all this.
Roy Jones Jr. weighed in on the possible matchup between Ennis and Xander, viewing it as an important challenge for both competitors, and he praised Ennis for his dedication to the sport, highlighting the countless hours he puts into training and the elite skill set he has developed. However, Jones also identified an area that could potentially create problems for Boots, and in his opinion, Ennis occasionally becomes too comfortable in the ring and leaves openings that allow opponents to land clean shots, and Jones explained that because Ennis has dominated so many of his fights, there are still unanswered questions regarding how he would react against a highly disciplined and technically sound opponent, and at the elite level he warned repeated defensive mistakes can become costly. And speaking about Zayas, Jones expressed admiration for the young contender's growth, pointing to his footwork, range, control, confidence, and continued development, and he also recognized the pride Zayas carries as a Puerto Rican boxer determined to reach championship status with the support of an entire fan base behind him, and how he's carried himself, and I like him.
And I like him. I've seen his growth, calling his fights on ESPN. He's got a lot to like. He's got the range, he's got the height, he's tough. He's got a whole country behind him, and he fully embraces trying to be the next great Puerto Rican champion. And he's gonna cause some problems for Boots Ennis throughout this fight. But the question, my initial question is this too soon, or is it the right time? Is it ripe and the right time for Xander Zayas? And for Jaron Boots Ennis, he needed this name. He needed this kind of matchup, because that's been the biggest knock on him. It's like, yeah, you passed the eye test. We see you have skills. We respect your movement with your father and coming from Philly and everything that you guys do. We know, it's widespread rumors, and not just rumors, but the truth is Boots is he's a gym rat, and he lives boxing. He really loves the sport, and you see that when he fights. But the question or concern that I have for Boots.
But the question or concern that I have for Boots is, as Boots has had, and despite his praise for both fighters, Jones Jr. admitted that timing remains the biggest question surrounding the potential contest. And he suggested that this fight could either arrive too soon for Zayas or serve as the perfect opportunity for him to prove he belongs among the elite, and Jones also noted that Ennis would benefit from facing a respected opponent like Zayas because it would help answer lingering criticism about the quality of his race, and in the end he views Zayas as a legitimate threat capable of creating difficult moments, but he believes Ennis' combination of experience, physical strength, and forward pressure could become the difference maker once the action reaches championship level intensity, and that I don't always see Boots.
I don't always see Boots, even though he does have skill defensively, he doesn't always use it. I see Boots sometimes get hit with clean flush shots, and I'll see him get hit in a fight with a repeated shot. And my boxing brain says, you took that shot against this guy, what if you get hit with that same shot against that guy? So those are my initial concerns about the fight for both guys. But if it is the right time for Xander, if it is the right time for Xander and he's able, Tim Bradley has spent considerable time analyzing how a fight between Boots Ennis and Xander Zayas might unfold, and he strongly favors Ennis in the matchup, and Bradley believes Boots possesses superior ring intelligence, sharper timing, and a more complete understanding of distance and positioning, and after reviewing several of Zayas' recent performances he noticed a recurring trend: strong starts followed by a gradual decline in effectiveness during the later rounds, and Bradley believes that repeated weight cuts and the process of regaining weight between fights may contribute to that slowdown, and according to him, the physical toll eventually affects stamina, movement, and reaction speed.
He good. I've been reading a lot of comments and stuff from people saying that, 9, 10. I've been also seeing, 11. I just got done studying some Xander Zayas, man. Late in the fight, he begins to fade. Round 8, 9, he starts to fade. Yeah. He starts to fade because all that weight he put on. He put on.
Bradley further explained that Zayas has achieved success by maintaining range boxing behind disciplined combinations and controlling the pace of exchanges. However, he questioned whether that strategy would remain effective against someone as versatile as Ennis, and Boots constantly changes angles, closes distance quickly, and attacks from positions many opponents struggle to anticipate, and Bradley believes those movements could force Zayas into uncomfortable situations and disrupt his rhythm. And another major factor discussed was Ennis' punching power, and analysts continue to point out that Boots carries dangerous knockout ability in both hands and can capitalize instantly when an opponent makes a defensive mistake, and powerful overhand rights, explosive uppercuts, and sharp counters were highlighted as weapons capable of shifting momentum in a single moment. And as the breakdown continued, many observers agreed that the later rounds could heavily favor Ennis, and Bradley even suggested a potential stoppage somewhere between rounds 9 and 11, although he acknowledged that Zayas' best route to victory would involve building an early lead before fatigue begins to play a role, or meeting with a right hand. But it wasn't nothing that was like crazy, with head movement.
Or meeting with a right hand, but it wasn't nothing that was like crazy. With head movement, the shit that Boots gonna be doing, all that head movement and sliding, tucking and moving on angles and shit. Boots, that's what Boots gonna attack is that late. And Boots got power. He got major power, man. And there's spots where I see Xander, he just gets himself in some bad spots, man. He drops his hands a lot. I see too much exposure on that left side. Way too much exposure on that left side. He's gonna have to keep that motherfucking left hand glued to his face, because that overhand right of Boots is lethal. It's lethal, man. And Boots turned that uppercut up the middle too, especially from the southpaw stance when Xander's leaning forward, man. Another lethal shot. But man, I see a lot of holes in Xander.
Former world champion Sean Porter sees the contest as a genuinely competitive battle rather than a predictable outcome, and Porter emphasized that Ennis brings proven experience, constant aggression, and the ability to wear opponents down over time, and those qualities in his opinion make Boots a dangerous challenge regardless of weight class. And at the same time, Porter was careful not to overlook Zayas, and he praised the young contender's athleticism, technical foundation, and overall boxing IQ, describing him as a fighter with significant upside. And Porter believes Zayas has enough skill to create difficult moments early if he remains disciplined and sticks to a smart game plan. and still the biggest question for him is whether Zayas can handle sustained pressure from a fighter who refuses to let opponents settle into a comfortable rhythm, and Porter feels the matchup is compelling because both men bring different strengths, making the outcome far from certain, and ultimately he sees it as a valuable test for both careers.
Matchup that was announced yesterday. You sparred with both of these gentlemen. It's Boots and Zayas.
Oh, yes.
From what I understand, Zayas a little younger into his career. Boots, I believe sometime last year we were able to get some work with him. And you said it's a little closer than what some people are saying. So how do you view that in particular?
Sure, man. You got two soldiers. You know, we always identify ourselves as warriors, you know. So you guys know that we're warriors, right? But I think a lot of times, a lot of fans, they forget that there's two warriors, and they get so caught up in what one warrior has, and they completely forget that even though this guy's got something, listen, this guy standing across from you, like I was saying on the Borderway podcast, we understand that this guy is dangerous, and until we put that guy in the right position, we can't just do it all, you know. And I truly do think that Xander,
while he still gives Ennis the advantage, particularly because of his finishing ability late in fights, he does not view Zayas as an easy assignment, and Bernie suggested that if Boots establishes his rhythm, a stoppage around the 9th or 10th round is certainly possible. However, he also pointed out that Zayas possesses legitimate skills, physical advantages at the weight, and growing strength as he continues to mature, and in his view Zayas has adapted well to the division and has enough talent to remain competitive throughout significant portions of the contest. And he also reminded fans that some fighters develop dramatically over time and often exceed expectations when given major opportunities, and while he still places Ennis ahead, he believes the gap separating them may be smaller than many people think. And Steve M, thank you for the two-piece. I got Boots by knockout 9 or 10. Xander nodded.
Steve Main, thank you for the two-piece. I got Boots by knockout 9 or 10. Xander not it. What's your thoughts? You think a knockout would happen?
I don't know. Xander can box. Xander's a big guy. He didn't field out for the weight, you know what I'm saying? He's put on a little bit more muscle, you know? I don't know. I think he's...
He gold his own?
It's not, yeah, definitely. I think I don't want to overrate Karen, and I don't want to underrate him, you know, but I think if a guy like Karen can actually do even better, he did better even in the second fight. You know, so I don't, you know, I think Xander probably right there with him. So I will give it a good chance. I don't know, but I think it's an interesting fight because, I think Boots is the heir apparent. Everybody is waiting on Boots to outshine the pack.
Bernie went on to describe Ennis as one of the most closely watched fighters in the division, someone many expect to eventually establish himself among boxing's elite. And he explained that a victory in a fight of this magnitude could open doors to major opportunities and future unification bouts. And even so, Bernie cautioned against assuming any outcome is guaranteed, and boxing has repeatedly shown that styles can dramatically influence results, and if Zayas manages distance effectively, remains composed, and sticks to a disciplined strategy, he could extend the contest and create difficult moments for Boots. And on the other hand, if succeeds in applying his preferred pace and timing, Bernie believes the fight could be finished before the final bell, and his overall conclusion was simple: Ennis deserves to be viewed as the favorite, but Zayas has enough ability to make it a serious challenge.
Which he's with over there with those guys, he can do that. Or, you know, he can fight Fendura, who's the king of the
negotiations. And
he wants to. We ain't gonna put.
Anything happens though. Anything can happen.
No, I think that's gonna be all right. You know, Top Rank. I don't know how serious the negotiations is, but I think definitely want to put Boots in with a champion. You know, being that Virgil Ortiz, the fight didn't materialize. It was a hot fight. Wasn't for the championship. Again, I said that, you know, Boots being a champion, a unified champion, a lineal champion, he's going to want a title belt around his waist, which most fighters do. You know, it brings more money, it brings more prestige.
Gary Russell shared his outlook on the June 27th showdown between Boots Ennis and Xander Zayas at Barclays Center. And although he has considerable respect for Zayas and his potential, Russell ultimately favors Ennis to emerge victorious, and he acknowledged that Zayas is a technically sound boxer with quality fundamentals, disciplined combinations, and a mature approach inside the ring. However, Russell believes and possesses a more complete package physically, and he noted that Boots has grown stronger as His career has progressed and now carries a level of physical force that many opponents struggle to handle, and Russell also praised Dennis for becoming more intelligent with his aggression, knowing when to increase pressure and when to reset the action. And while he admitted Ennis is not a perfect fighter and occasionally displays defensive lapses or moments of overconfidence, Russell feels those flaws are often offset by his natural athleticism, speed, reflexes, and instincts, and in his view, those gifts allow Ennis to remain dangerous at all times and recover quickly even when opponents find success against sync to video time.